The category is Bring It Like Royalty.
We binge their TV shows. We dance to their music. We gag for their lip syncs. We applaud them on TV, in movies, on magazines. We enjoy the equality they fought for, and they are still murdered on the streets of America.
The death of a transgender
of an African-American transgender
woman has been murdered.
The dismembered body of Dominic Fells was found floating Monday near Bartram's Garden in southwest Philadelphia. NBC 10 spoke tonight.
Black trans lives matter! Black trans lives matter! Black trans lives matter! Black trans lives matter! We all know why we're here. We're here because black and brown people are dying in the streets of the United States of America. We demand answers.
People who look like me are slain and murdered every day just because of the color of their skin. And I don't want to be a hashtag. I don't want to be a hashtag.
What Malika is saying is that she wants to live. George Floyd became a hashtag. Breonna Taylor became a hashtag. But do you know about Tony McDade? Actually, let's step back for the big picture in America. Looking back at 2018, the FBI counted the murder of more than 16,000 Americans. That means roughly 1 in every 20,000 Americans is murdered every year. Scary, right? Now look specifically at black trans women. Their murder rate is much, much higher. 1 in every 2,600 is killed every year in America. That means black trans women are more than 7 times more likely to be murdered. Murders like that of Monica Diamond outside this Charlotte motel. One of 22 trans people killed in America in just the first half of 2020. 22 is also the average number of trans people murdered every year in the US, going back to 2013 when the Human Rights Campaign began tracking their deaths. With 22 so far this year, 2020 appears to be much more dangerous for trans people. So when you see this rally in DC's DuPont Circle through that lens, you might think there's some new epidemic of violence against transgender Americans.
I also just wanted to do an acknowledgement for a black trans man that was murdered by the police a week and a half ago. His name is Tony McDade.
Oh, but this is nothing new. 1977, the New York Times wrote of the murder of Harlem transvestite. 1992, man kills transvestite prostitute. 1995, New York's the shanty town of He-She's, where violence lives next door. His name is Everyman. And even as journalists' understanding of trans Americans evolved, the violence had not. 1998, Allie Forney was shot in the head, the third young transgender prostitute murdered in Harlem in 14 months. All of the cases are unsolved. Those who did not know him might miss the human being under all those labels.
I am so sick and tired of people killing other people just because. Somebody who is living thinking that they're in the wrong body is already dealing with enough shit. They shouldn't have to deal with your ignorant ass, okay? Get a grip. Bye.
That is my passionate friend Greg, and this is a great point to pause for a moment and talk about the idea of disclosure. Now, there's a Netflix documentary of the same name, and it's a great watch if you want a deeper understanding. But basically, disclosure is when a transgender person acknowledges or discloses that they are, in fact, transgender. But I've only recently come to understand that disclosure is actually a double-edged sword for trans Americans, because on one hand, they have to disclose to be able to fight for their equality or even just fight for their safety. But then on the other hand, disclosing actually puts that person at greater risk for the violence directed at the trans community. And that is why the Black Trans Lives Matter movement is both so important and so dangerous.
Thank you!
Omega Chucky identifies as an intersex trans man. He's also a parent, an activist, and a life coach for the trans community in the Bay Area.
Say his name! Tony McGay!
I met him as he carried the pink torch for the 25th annual lighting of San Francisco's Pink Triangle. It's the giant symbol of the fight against homophobia and transphobia.
Tony McGay! LA! Atlanta!
Omega had also organized a multi-city rally across FaceTime for Black trans lives as he carried that torch.
Omega, what's going through your mind right now?
How we have to see how all of us on different cameras, their existence, we have to stand and support ourselves because the world don't support us. They don't believe in us. They don't help us. So we stand alone, although we stand in solidarity. And if y'all want to walk in here with me right now, I can just imagine what would probably happen to me walking down the street, saying what I'm saying, doing what I'm doing.
And that is not hyperbole. Because I followed Omega through Lake Merritt Park in Oakland. In that very same spot, 2 years earlier, a white woman called police on a black family for just grilling in the park.
And charcoal grills are not allowed here.
The internet named her Barbecue Becky. And that encounter echoed into 2020 with Amy Cooper.
Please don't come close to me. Please call the cops.
She later apologized, but she did call police on a black man in Central Park who called her out for having her dog off leash while he was just watching birds. So yeah, just being black in a public park in the middle of the daytime in America can actually be dangerous. And then compound that with being black and transgender.
Say with me. Black trans lives matter. Black trans.
You slowly release restrictions over things, but nobody is free here. I should not have to fear for my life. This person should not have to tell a group of people how to be safe from police who are getting paid to protect them with their money.
Now you might be able to understand what it takes, what it means for a trans person of color to take up a megaphone in front of a crowd.
Show up for your women, because we show up for you all.
To disclose, to demand that their lives matter.
I think oftentimes when we talk about Black Lives Matter, we often center cisgender people and we forget everybody that exists outside of that spectrum. So it's very important for me to remind people that if all Black lives matter, our lives matter as well.
Hey y'all, Chase Kane here. Thanks for checking out the NBCLX YouTube channel. For more videos, you can click up here and be sure to click subscribe over here to join the NBCLX community.